Okay, people, our camera isn't working, so this will be audio only. I see you there, Lillian. Okay, it's after 6. I call this hearing to order. This is a public hearing under accordance with NHRSA 79D. This is a public hearing for the purpose to discuss, take public comment, and act upon the following. Application by Kent and Elizabeth Perry, 79 Colburn Road, tax map 8B, lot 33, for a discretionary preservation barn easement to be placed upon the barn in accordance with NHRSA 79D. Okay, we are underway. Avatar has reviewed this, and it appears to meet the requirements. All righty. Any comments from the board?
We agreed to give us 50%.
Yeah, but we've got to do it officially then, so.
Yes.
You get the full amount we've ever given. 50% reduction.
Good try, Kim.
I mean, the only other option for us is 75%.
Yeah.
And we haven't given it to anybody. We've only done the 50%, which would be a $21,931 deduction in your tax rate. Not dollar deduction, but it would be off
Off the barn assessment.
the assessment of the barn.
And it's good for 10 years.
And you 10 years, you have to re-up
Mhm.
or it goes away and you
Oh,
gotta start all
right.
over.
Yeah, we didn't have a way of tracking this before, but now we do, so. Anybody that's gotten one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Re-up.
But there is a way in Avatar now, they flag it with a date.
Yeah.
And so when it comes up to that point again, we'll see the flag and we'll know that we have to remind you or somebody has to re-up or it goes away.
So, everybody okay with this?
I'm okay. I make the motion to do the 50%
Second.
assessment on the Perry's barn.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
You've got your easement. Wasn't this exciting?
No, you guys accept,
Or you don't have to run off.
sorry, just have to sign it.
Okay, I'm going to pause recording until we start our select board meeting in 20 minutes. Okay, at 6:30, I call this meeting to order. Do we have any old business? I don't think so.
We put off, number 4, school study committee.
Oh, we should do that. Yeah, we should discuss that. So Dublin and Francistown have a school study committee each. They would really like us to create one too. And the idea is that these study committees figure out what Conval should do. So do we want to set one up as a ad hoc board committee?
I have no problem with setting it up.
Okay,
You're gonna do that, Ken?
No,
Oh,
negative.
how about you?
no,
You don't want me on the speed.
I have no problem making a motion to set it up, put it that way.
what they really like is people that know something about education and finance and that sort of stuff. So we'll set it up and see if we can get someone. So I move we create a,
I think we have to have somebody from the select board.
well, maybe.
We can appoint one of us to it
Well, I'll try to do it.
Okay.
after
all right.
they,
Because
after
I
they get
have
it set up.
Kingston working on it.
Yeah, I could do it too. It depends. We'll sort it out if it gets set up. So I move we create a ad hoc school study committee to report to the select board and the town. The number of members is yet to be determined and their terms are yet to be determined. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, so Temple now has a school study committee. I'll have something put on the web page to see if we can get some volunteers. Okay. Carol, do we need to do number 5 or are we taking care of that? We're
Kind
gonna-
of, sort of, more or less.
Yeah, we kind of.
Yeah, we're gonna take care of it tonight.
And Steve is here and he does have a meeting that starts at the same time.
Okay,
So if we could do him first, that would be awesome.
yep, we will move. Is he on the agenda?
First thing we really need to do is to, the 4,386 that we originally allocated for the alarm system needs to get undone.
Yeah, so I move that we take back the money that was allocated for the alarm system and store it into the ARPA funds,
Okay,
$4,386.
could I ask a question on that? Is that because the company, Monadnock Security Systems, didn't fulfill their obligation?
No, it's because we voted in town meeting to pay it out of the budget, not out of ARPA.
Okay,
So is there a second?
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, we have 4386 back in the ARPA funds. All right, so we're gonna let you go next, Steve. Should be short.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I would just request, as I did at an earlier meeting, to set aside $3,000 for multi-directional microphones on our stage, which would greatly help our production quality on the sound. I believe I gave you guys a written estimate from the same vendor who installed all the other stuff here at the town hall.
Okay, so do we have enough ARPA funds now to cover that and anything else we already said we were gonna cover?
If we 17.5 to the fire department, and that leaves exactly 3,000 that's left to spend.
Okay. What's the board wanna do?
I think it would help maybe alleviate some of this stuff and we can talk to them, but setting up this every time is a pain.
Hmm,
If they can set up something right here, they can pick us up, that'd be even better.
yeah, and pick up the whole room.
Yeah,
So
and
we'll see.
these guys can use it as well, so I mean, I think it's a win-win for
Yeah,
everybody.
anybody on the stage can.
Yeah, I think also the rec committee, when they have their concerts here and this and that, it will really help pick up everything on the stage. And in fact, we'll have to tell the people backstage to keep
it
the
quiet.
gossip down.
Okay, I move that we allocate $3,000 of ARPA funds to pay for omnidirectional microphones for the town hall.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Well,
Oh.
thank you. I'll have Kevin be in touch with Carol at
Yep.
the office. Thanks.
okay.
And as soon as he can get it set up to do it, have him do it.
Yeah, so you said 2 or 3 weeks, so we're hoping we can do that.
Okay, cool.
Thank you very much.
All righty.
Can we take number 3 off the agenda, or is that still something?
Well, the CAC is still going for that grant,
Yeah, they're still going for it and
so until we hear about the grant, if it or
we'll just leave it on and
We'll
we'll pick
just
it up
leave it
later.
on.
And Lillian is working out some deal with some radar sign company to give us a couple of loaners to try out, so
Okay.
leave it on there. Okay, Community Coalition update, Rob Wills. He is
Not here.
Temple Land Use Committee plans, Tim.
Yeah, the land use committee asked me to come to you guys and see if we can use some of the money that's in the expendable trust to hire an architect to do a plan for the town. complete with drawings and the whole works, do a complete study and the whole works for moving the highway department and what it entails and what would happen with the property and the buildings if that was done and the whole works. They're not cheap. That's why we kind of were reluctant to do that before, because you're probably looking at 20 grand plus to have something like this done. But there's $36,000 sitting there that was allocated, or we had a warrant article and it was allocated for that years ago, and it's still sitting there, and we feel that it should be done.
Right, well, it was allocated in a town meeting. So the
Yes.
money is there,
Yeah.
and that is one of the purposes for that, so.
How broad of a plan do you feel that we could have him do with this money? Is it pretty specific, or, I mean, to me, the way the wording is it's fairly broad. What they could do, but
Yeah, I'll have to review it and maybe ask around. I don't remember the wording of the article, but I think it'll certainly cover the general process.
Yeah, and I think a feasibility study would probably be okay, but I don't know that we want to draw any plans or anything yet.
no, I don't think we want to do any plans. It would be more sketches of this is what would happen, and if it's acceptable, I mean, it would get into, okay, the fire department needs more room, so the fire department, if we do, move the town offices out of the fire department and we move the town offices to such and such a place, then the fire department has more room, and then the library would have more room to do this, I mean, that it could get pretty broad, and it's anything that's going to happen in the town and in the next few years or many years, but it would give the town a plan for the future. And to me, this plan would be a forever plan. It wouldn't be something that, okay, this is going to be good for 20 years or going to be good for 30 years. It would be a plan that would be good for the next 100 to 200 years kind of thing. And like Kenny said, you don't want to get into doing blueprints or anything like that. It would basically just be sketches. And then if you wanted to continue from there, then you'd get into doing blueprints and the whole works. But we've already done some engineering studies and stuff, but we never went far enough to have an architect really do a plan like that. So
Well, I think the study to begin with should be fire department, town offices, library, town hall. All the town properties as to longevity and however we're gonna use them,
right.
kind of thing, and figure out where we need to start and where we need to go with.
Exactly,
Well,
because
for 50 years, 100 years, 200 years, whatever it is.
yeah, because you need to start somewheres, and then it's like dominoes. This one gets done, so then this one can get done, then this one can happen, and
Yeah.
and it would be, probably take 20 years to do it all.
Yeah. 'Cause we're already behind. I mean, we've been talking about storage of town
Record,
Right.
files and records.
right?
for
We've been talking
forever.
about that for 2 or 3 years now.
Yeah, what we're,
We have gone nowhere.
Yeah.
So hopefully this year I'll be able to come up with something so we can start at that point too. But if they could put this into the study as well, I mean, I don't see why we couldn't use that information, whether we do highway down there, highway up here, whatever it is. But,
Right, right.
wherever we're gonna be in 50 years to make
Right,
everything work for us.
Yeah, because one of the things we've talked about with the town records is fireproofing some
Yep.
of it.
Yep.
And because we're really not in good shape.
We're also
with
out of
that.
space.
We
We're-
don't
And
we're-
there's no space to do it. I mean, I got a safe years ago that they were gonna put some of the stuff in and we couldn't fit it through the doors in the place, so it wasn't any good, you know? But that's the kind of thing I think we need to do a complete study and we need a professional, I guess, to do it, you know, and
Okay.
come up with all that, so.
So yeah, come up with what you want, what it's gonna cost, and request that we allocate the funds for that. And we can do that.
All right, and if we find somebody, we'll have them come in and meet with you guys from the start, and I'm sure this will take a year or two to do,
Yeah, I'm sure. it
but,
will.
it may take a half a year to just get somebody to start on it, but this is the first step. So
Okay.
if you're all agreeable, then we'll take the next step, so,
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Fine with me?
okay, good, thank you.
All righty. Next up, school board status. Jim.
So I didn't know if you wanted me to do this, but I figured I'd check in with the board and let you know
Sure.
what's going on in the school board occasionally, since it is a large part of the town's budget and probably affects what the town's willing to spend on the rest of the town budget. So anyway, first couple meetings have been interesting. Lots going on between the AD issue and the school bus driver issue and all the other things going on. It's been fun already. And I'll let you know I'm on two committees, the budget committee and the policy committee, beyond the normal board duties. Okay, as you mentioned earlier, the first withdrawal feasibility study meeting is Thursday, April 25th at 6 o'clock at the SAU. And that requires a board member, select board member, and a school board member from each town in the district. So I'm obviously it for the school board, and who's coming from the select board is obviously up to you, but we do need representation there.
Yeah, so where are they meeting? Is it the same place they held the last meeting where they had selectmen from the towns that were
Yes,
affected?
At the
show up?
SAU.
At the SAU
right.
building? Okay,
Right.
all right.
Yep. As far as things going on with the organization, consolidation, reorganization, there is a meeting not sponsored by the school board, but it is being attended and having speakers from some school board members. That's the Where Does Conval Go From Here? I believe the Ledger is actually sponsoring that. And that's tomorrow night at 7 in the Monadnock History and Cultural Center in Peterborough. The Strategic Organization Committee, which was the committee that came up with the study, has been disbanded for the time being. I don't think that means it's a dead and done issue in the future, but at least for this coming board year, unless something specific comes up, that committee has been disbanded. And of course, they're going to have to react to the outcome of the withdrawal feasibility study anyway.
Is that the committee that organized reorganization?
The reorganization,
Okay.
the
So
prismatic
that's-
study, yeah. Mhm.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
that
they
the one
didn't, they didn't have
you
the
wanted
decency
to
to
do?
all just resign, of course.
That was because that was the one that promoting the reorganization and closing of the schools,
Yeah,
which I was against.
right. But is that what he's talking about? We have to go to that meeting on the 25th. Is that the one you wanted to go to, or?
Well, I can go to that one and I can also go to the feasibility study committee.
The, the feasibility study
over.
committee is
Okay.
about the withdrawal
Right.
of Dublin and Francistown.
Yeah,
We'll talk about that next. We actually have it on our agenda to talk about.
Okay, good. There are, so one of the things that you should be aware of is that the town's liability, or the preceding district, which in this case is the town's liability to the district that you withdrew from, is the debt that's in place at the time the withdrawal vote occurs.
Right. Yep.
Okay. There are some large ticket items that are coming up in the very near future. So there is a window of lower liability to the town that exists.
Okay.
Right. I'm not saying what you should or should not do, but you should be aware that when you look at the, there is on the budget committee, there is a agenda item to look at a 2025 warrant for the high school and CTE project, which will be bonded in 2025.
Okay.
So just something to have on the back burner. Okay. I don't know. That's one of the things, and I don't think anybody knows, that's one of the things that the feasibility study has to get all the details on to understand what the.
Right.
What the
And it's
debt
always been
position is.
extremely difficult to get this kind of information out of Conval.
Right.
Yes. Microphone.
The warrant for 2025, does that have a dollar value? And what did you say it was for? And that's going to impact the whole SAU, is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Do you have any idea what it is, specifically what it's for and what the dollar value would be?
I believe there's a large construction project plan for the high school and the Center for Technical Education. CTE, the basically the technical education.
Yeah, the voc tech.
Right.
Voc tech building.
Yeah. And I don't have a dollar value today. I haven't been to my first budget meeting, but it's not insignificant anyway. And and how significant that is on every town depends on how many towns are left and how many people are left in the district, right?
Yeah, the key point is if they pass that, say we plan to withdraw next year. They pass it before we withdraw, we're stuck paying that. Yeah.
But we don't have to withdraw. Wait. If I understand it correctly, the town has to have voted to have a feasibility study.
I have to read the document again. I don't know if it's the fact that they voted to have the study stops the clock, or the study has to get approved.
Yeah, and it's fuzzy in my reading of it as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So
We have talked briefly with our town attorneys about this, and they said, look, it's a specialty field. Got to get a lawyer that knows this kind of school law. So yet another lawyer we might have to get.
Real quickly, are you going to be coming to these Board of Selectmen meetings to update when you have more details? And I think it's great that you're here and you are doing this, because it really is sheds a light on what's happening, which we have no idea. So it'd be nice if you would come when you have significant updates. Just ask.
right. So yep. The first thing I asked the board was if they wanted me to do this on occasion, and I certainly will. And as I get significant updates on things going on in the district, I'll bring it to the board's attention. So any other questions from the board right now? Good. All right. Thank you.
We have someone request to speak. You have to identify
Because
yourself.
Tim is very good about keeping things
Yeah,
quiet.
State your name because nobody
Pam
can see.
Kingston.
Yeah.
So the question. The town can vote for a feasibility
Yes.
study, regardless of whether we choose to then vote
To withdraw.
to withdraw.
Yes.
So two feasibility studies are being done right now. Why does it not make sense for us to hold a special town meeting and vote to have the feasibility study done at the same time? Because much of the same information is similar,
Yes.
and we won't be caught behind the 8 ball come 2025.
Yep. So one issue is nobody likes special town meetings, but that's the only choice we have, rather than waiting till next year.
Well, as I understand it, having attended the SAC meetings for every month for the last 3 years, or maybe longer, Kimberly Saunders said that because Dublin and Francistown both asked for this feasibility study, Ms. Saunders said that the whole that empowers or doesn't empower, but to do this feasibility study, they have to do it, and the taxpayers will have to pay for this. And just because Dublin and Francistown went for this thing, she says, that means the whole school district will be responsible for the costs that goes into this study.
So we're paying for it already.
Yes,
It's,
we'll have to
Why would we?
apportion.
it's a long, complicated document, and
Yeah.
it needs many readings to figure out what it actually means. But so let's discuss that now, because that's our next agenda item.
Thank you.
Let me recap here. We received notice from Conval that both Dublin and Francistown have petitioned, as they have the right to do under the Articles of Incorporation, to have feasibility studies done, them withdrawing from the school district. And I wouldn't exactly call it a feasibility study myself. What it is, it's a procedure where there will be much discussion, hand-wringing, wasted time. Then it comes down to the committee, which is composed of a school board member from each town, select board member from each town, will vote as to whether or not it is reasonable for that district, for those towns to withdraw. If the committee votes yes, then those towns can vote to withdraw. Yeah, it has to go to the state, has to approve all this stuff too. If the committee says no, the individual towns can still override that, but it takes a 2/3 vote in each town, each of the towns. So anyway, that's all I know so far. So what we have to have is a school board member on this, which we have one of, and a select board member on this, and any of us three can do it. We'll sort out which one of us it is, I guess. I mean, I'll do it. George can do it. Ken says he'll do it. Who wants to do it?
If you guys want to do
I
it,
see.
have at it.
I would do it, but,
Well, you're already doing the other one.
right. If you want to do it, Bill, it's fine.
No, I don't want to do it, but I will if
But you
I've,
gotta have
I've got the
something to-
time. I've got the time to do it, so I'll do it. Jesus. Do you have any idea how often this thing is going to meet? Any idea how often they're going to meet?
You know, although it is a very tight deadline.
Yeah.
So, there's not a lot of time between now and when.
Yeah, which is
It is 180
in
days.
days, yeah.
I think it's November 5th.
Yeah.
It's that's fast to do as much planning as is required in this,
Yeah.
in this study.
Well, Thursdays is my generally free night, so hey, I guess it's not free anymore. Okay, I'll do it. And we might switch off as we go along anyway. I will let them know. Microphone. State your name.
You gotta turn it on, Peter.
Is it up here?
Yeah.
Peter Allen.
Yes.
Is this Pam had mentioned that there was a needing for a special town meeting of some sort. Is that to participate in the feasibility study? Is that for us?
No, it's if we want to also petition. It's
The-
the first
the-
step
the-
in
the-
withdrawing.
Oh, okay, that we would want a feasibility study for looking at us withdrawing too.
Right, and since they're
So-
already doing two of them, it would make some sense to
Yeah.
have them do all three, although we'd really have to get going.
So
with
it
this
really, we got a very short time frame here if we were gonna
Yes.
do that, right? Because this is gonna be all concluded in 6 months, roughly
Yes.
speaking. So we'd have to do it. in
It's
the
6
next-
months from the date of the filing of
And then
the,
there are all the legal
request.
ramifications of how you call a special meeting, the time frame.
well, we know how to do that, but
Yeah, but I mean, that's another.
the process
Yeah.
of what we actually have to file is not clear yet.
Okay.
So yes, we're gonna have to get going on this. Give the microphone to Pam. She wishes to speak.
So at the special town meeting, it's only a 2/3 percentage of those in attendance. Is that correct?
yeah.
Okay.
It's not the registered voters. Nothing would ever pass. That would pass.
Correct.
Okay, all right, so we'll start sorting that out. We'll probably have to have a forum so the townspeople can say if they want to do this or not. Man. It's gonna take at least a month, I'd say. So we'll get going.
I believe that Sorry, I know this is all in the process and it's going to require a lot of study, but I think that the withdrawal process can be initiated. So the request to have a withdrawal committee look at your do the feasibility study can be initiated by only a simple majority
At a meeting, town
at a
meeting.
town meeting.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
right. It's only challenging the withdrawal. I mean, if the committee turns you down, that's where the 2/3 comes in. I don't think you need 2/3 to actually withdraw though, but maybe you do. I don't know. That's way in the future.
There are all kinds of percentages in
Yes.
here, depending on contingencies that
Yes.
are hard to
Yes,
puzzle through.
It's really
Uh,
complicated.
right.
And the state does not make it easy to do this. All righty. Next up, create an ad hoc committee for BAC data processing. I'm not sure what that's all about. And
I'm not either. Who asked for that?
I don't even know that.
You did.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I did. All right. So
Oh, Bill did.
Need some privilege or something?
it's been a long time. They haven't had a meeting in quite a while.
You should come to more meetings.
They haven't had one. I've been to every damn BAC meeting they've had. Don't give me that, George. Anyway. It has been the case that Mike Darnell has been the one that's kept track of done all the spreadsheets and all this kind of stuff for the BAC. He is not on the BAC any longer. So the BAC would like us to set up an ad hoc committee under the BAC where they can have some people come in and take Mike Darnell in particular, come in not as a board member, but as a subcommittee member to do what he's already been doing for years. And if he gets tired of it, then somebody else can come in and do it That's what that's
Why
about.
can't we just appoint him to the BAC?
because it's full. It has a set number of members and they're full.
So can we add alternates?
No, they don't have alternates. I looked
Well,
into
what does
this.
it mean? Can we make alternates?
Yeah, they're elected. It's not appointed. They don't have
Well, I
alternates.
understand that, but if we don't have people that want to be elected to it, then if we have a spot, we can appoint.
Yeah, but there's no spot. They're all filled. No,
Yeah.
no, we can't do it. No, not if the committee is full, only if no one runs for the spot.
Yeah, if there's open spots. then
But we have no
can-
open
then we can
spots.
appoint.
But what we can do is set up this BAC data processing subcommittee, and then they can appoint Mike Darnell to that committee. So all we got to do is say, sure, they can set up a data processing subcommittee.
Well, in one thing, this here says that the committee of the BAC for data processing, but then it says also appoint Mike Darnell to the CIP.
Well, that's a separate one. Yeah,
So-
that's totally different.
Okay,
Okay, so I'm gonna move that a BAC ad hoc committee be established for the purposes of handling data processing for the BAC. The members to be determined by the BAC. Is there a second? They gotta have somebody do the spreadsheet. Well, I guess we're not getting a second on this one
I get it, but why can't they just volunteer? Why can't, I don't,
because there's no official way for them to do it without them being some position that they can do it under.
but I'm not understanding why can't they do it?
Well, I suppose they could just
As
do
a
it from home.
volunteer.
Yeah, I could just do it and slip it in, but they
Good.
want,
Gary Shaw did just about all of this on the BAC.
Microphone.
Rob Kenny could.
Hello.
gonna speak, use a microphone because no one can hear you on the recording.
Think it's a good.
I don't understand. You guys
I
keep
think-
turning them off and then you
I think
pick
it,
them up and
I
think
think
they're
it's a-
all automatic.
Peter Allen, I think it's a good idea to have the subcommittee. We can always dissolve it if it's not necessary, but
No, I
just
think
get
it's
the ball
fine, too.
rolling so that we can have this continuity of the information. I mean, maybe one of the BAC members can actually do this with enough training that it doesn't.
Well, that's
require-
another thing is to train somebody,
Yeah.
but
I mean,
anyway,
I know Rob Kenny's very oriented that way, so that could happen.
yes, Rob Kenny's the up and comer on that. So I did move it, but there hasn't been a second. So unless there is a second, it's going to die.
Well, I mean, unless somebody can explain to me why they absolutely have to have it and Mike
Okay.
just can't
Let's,
volunteer his time to do it.
okay, let's do this. Have somebody, if the BAC wants it, the BAC chair can come in and discuss it. And then we'll take care of it next meeting.
I move that we appoint Mike Darnell to the CIP.
Where is that?
It's right underneath it.
He's been on that before.
It's on the email that he sent.
Oh, well, on the email.
Consent.
Yeah, I'll second that, sure. All in favor of appointing Mike Darnell to the CIP, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, he's appointed.
And also, if he's on the CIP, why couldn't he just forward that information to the BAC?
Ask him.
That's what I mean. I don't know why we need another committee.
Real quickly, Peter Allen, what we're talking about is this massive, massive data spreadsheet that holds all the data in terms of the town's budgeting. So it's not CIP, it's CIP related indirectly. CIP is the long-term capital expenditures. This is a very, very complex spreadsheet that has all the data going back years and how it alters and changes with all the meetings. It's a very complex spreadsheet and documentation. That's why it's a unique thing related to the BAC.
Okay, BAC chair wants to come in and explain it. We'll work on it then.
Not sure who that chair is even right now.
No, there hasn't been a meeting. I suspect it'll probably end up being Rob, but I don't know. Reappoint Emily Sliviak to ZBA committee term for 3 years and Deb Harling for 3 years.
Second,
All in favor?
uh, reappoint Gretchen Whitcomb Recreation Committee for term 3 years.
Second.
All in favor?
That's me. Aye.
Aye. This next one, reappoint Ken Caisse and Tom St. Cyr Historical District Committee, terms 3 years. I'm appointed by the board, so I don't,
Yeah, you're the board member, right?
yeah, so I don't necessarily know that I need to be,
No, you don't. So it just,
so it's just Tom St. Cyr for
Yeah.
3 years.
so I move we appoint Tom St. Cyr Historic District Committee 3 years.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And Ken will remain our select board representative. Reappoint Carole Singelais, Deputy Welfare Officer for a 2-year term.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. I hope you wanted that.
Of course you
Yep.
did.
Don't have a choice.
He's big buckaroos.
Remove absent members from the Highway Garage Study Group, Allan Pickman, Kathy Boot, and Laura Lynch. Because they were appointed with no term, we have to unappoint them. Since they're not there anymore. I so move. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Phew. Building permit application for a deck, 141 General Miller.
This is pretty straightforward deck. It's been signed off by those that need to sign off on it.
Okay. Who's doing this?
Chris and Brittany Curtis.
Okay.
So I'll make the motion to sign their building permit.
Second, all in favor? I
Aye.
don't think I actually need to move that, but
There it is.
the next one we do have to vote on.
Well, we vote on these. I'm gonna make those, going to make those go away, hopefully.
Yeah, there's no
So-
reason we actually have to vote on. Okay, next up, approve veterans credit, Kingston. Do we have the avatar?
It should be in your
Yeah.
packet.
Yes, it's in here.
I've got it.
He should be added under the statute as a taxpayer meets all statutory requirements to qualify. So motioned.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The veterans credit is approved. Let's do our other business before we do the minutes.
We have a certificate of tax yield,
Yeah,
for Willard, property he had cut, which again, I think is just paperwork for the town, but,
yep, we
um,
just have to sign it, I think.
motion to sign it.
Second, all in favor?
Aye. And then we have, Barbara Thorngren, Town Hall rental. She would like to be excuse the fee. She is a Temple resident, and Barbara, would you like to say something?
And,
Thank you.
and state your name when you start, just so it'll be in the recording.
My name is Reverend Barbara Thorngren. I live in Temple. I've been here for 32 years. And I asked if I could come to speak tonight I only knew this morning that the meeting was happening tonight, so I'm happy about this timing. For the opportunity to rent the space or to use the space, I guess. Once a month on the 3rd, and this just seems to be the date that's available and possible, the 3rd Sunday from 7 to 8 p.m. for gathering here. And I'm calling it Peace Sundays in Temple. And a practice of hope and kindness. And I'm going to just read what I have written here to try to give you an understanding of what I'm thinking about. I'll just say that this is not just my idea, but a few friends have asked if I do something like this. Come join us monthly at the Temple Town Hall for an hour of singing, prayers, poetry, and sharing. Let us light a candle as we lift one another up in hope. Our spiritual practice is kindness. And then in the explanation, I say that these are challenging times. We witness grief and suffering in the news and in our homes. We take this time to come together. People of different faith traditions, and none are welcome to join us. And then I invite people to contact me. I am an interfaith, interspiritual minister. And the time we're looking at having that as an hour gathering in here and then afterwards having some refreshments. So I'd need to ask permission to use the kitchen. And I would advertise it by, I made some flyers to put, like I do the rest of my things, just up in the Facebook around town, up at the store. I know quite a few musicians as well. They've asked to come together and sing. We do some of these things on my property. And so I invite your questions.
Barbara, is this gonna be a religious event?
I guess if you consider peace a religious event, you can consider that. I'm not promoting any religion other than kindness,
My only concern was separation of
church and state.
church and state.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if it,
I think it's a great idea on your part.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as it's non-denominational,
I am
yeah, it's
absolutely
fine.
non-denominational.
it-
Actually, I'm a member of the church next door,
Yeah,
but I'm an interfaith, interspiritual minister, which makes me different. And I did offer the prayer at the town meeting this year. And I was asked if I would be mindful that there are others in town other than Christian. And so I was really very mindful as when I wrote that to make sure I,
Okay, yeah, we just have to worry about that for,
of course. And I am very aware of that. My background is I was a professor at Nashville Community College. As the chair of the education department, I built a peace and social justice studies program. I've worked with the UN Commission on the Status of Women every year around issues of peace and women. And I was at Chicago in August at the Parliament of World's Religions, just to be mindful of what's going on in the world and how we can come together in a way that's simply community, raising each other up.
yeah, okay, just to remind you, if you use the kitchen, got to clean it.
I'm all over that.
Otherwise, some people will have fits. And although it's not likely, but if there's some reason a town board or committee needs this room on
Of
that
course.
night, you're preempted.
Yeah, I
So,
understand.
Yeah, just,
Yeah.
And these
Stay-
tables just stay up all the time, right? These tables stay up.
Well,
yeah, we
these
just leave these tables up
here,
all the
but
time.
you're
Okay.
welcome to put up, there's tables under here, there's chairs everywhere, there's everything else. I would also like to remind the board that Barbara does a lot for the town.
Yep,
And
sure.
she's also the chaplain for the fire department as well. So.
Yep.
I have motion to waive the fees.
Second,
All in favor? Okay. You're all
Thank
set.
you very much.
Just
And
make
thank
sure you schedule, well, Carol was aware of it, but
Yep.
make sure it's scheduled. Okay, I have one other business, as I mentioned, so. We now have a .gov domain for Temple in addition to our .org domain. It took quite a while because you cannot normally, you have to go through the federal government to get a .gov domain. And it used to be very complicated and took forever. They streamlined it. I applied it some months ago. We now have a .gov domain. Civic Plus will charge us $75 to basically have Templenh.gov work the same way as Templenh.org works. And I think we should do it. Any discussion?
That a motion?
All right, I so move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll let them know. Carol, I'll send you the invoice thingy. I'll
Okay.
sign it and send you a copy of it. Okay, any other business?
I have one thing from the last meeting. I said I would come with a price to revamp the panel over on the commons so that
Oh.
we could tie in the well system
Yep.
to it.
Yep.
I've got quote for $25,000 to $3,000 from Will Wilds to put an outside new box out there that will accept what's there, plus add on enough to do the well and more if we do so need it.
Okay,
So that I just wanted to bring to the board, and I don't know if we need to do anything with that right now, but that's what we're looking at to make that and then make the well serviceable, but that $2,500 to $3,000 is just for the panel and the service work on the panel. It does not include the line run to the well.
Okay, that's,
Okay.
we could do that easily.
So
The question is, where's the money come from for this?
This was in the running for the ARPA funds initially.
Yeah, well, now it's not because we spent them. Because, too bad. So either
can we take it out of building maintenance?
yeah, we could do that.
Or town building maintenance, something to, I mean,
Well, it is maintenance. We need, I mean,
it
we're
needs to
maintaining
get
the,
done, so.
yeah, so we'll figure it out somehow. So I'll move that we do approve up to $3,000 for an electrical panel for the new well. The money to come from,
It's gonna be for the common and the new well.
yeah, for the common and the new well. And the money to come from a account to be determined. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, it would be nice to have that well working when they will need it this summer. For all the water.
Well, it's gonna be another cost. I mean, I know that, Tim was gonna try and tap into the existing conduit, but the existing conduit, like I said before, is just a straw paper.
Yeah,
Basically, it's just a very thin, you can't push anything through it. You can't get anywhere.
it was that narrow diameter blue flexible.
It's
thread,
not, it's
yeah.
black. It looks. It's like, irrigation
Right,
line.
okay, yeah. Yeah.
So it's basically a straw paper
Yeah.
that it's plastic, but it just goes around the wire just to keep the rocks and stuff from rubbing into it.
Okay, do we have any other business, or if not, we're up to select board meeting minutes from March 26th.
I don't have anything, George.
No,
We didn't have a police board meeting this month, right?
Well, yeah, I'll talk about that after we vote on this one. So I move we approve the select board meeting minutes
second.
as written. All in favor?
Negative,
Okay, hold on. Do you have something?
yes.
Oh, I thought you did. Okay.
On the first page, under first Lego,
Yep,
is it the library is applying for the grant? Or are they applying for it through the library? I think they were applying for it through the library.
right. It has to be a town thing that does it. So the library is doing the application for you.
What are you talking about?
The first Lego,
Okay.
Yeah, it says library applying for a grant, for the
Yeah.
grant, but it should say that the first Lego is applying for a grant through the library.
yeah, the library is involved in it too somehow, other than that, but
Page 2,
yep.
under remaining ARPA funds use, spelled my name wrong. JP Pest. It says we paid JP Pest a lot already, to maintain pest control. I guess that's okay. And, that is all.
Okay,
Motion to accept as amended.
second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in
Anything else?
favor? Aye. We're
Aye.
adjourned. That's the panel. We get a new panel put in. Right, we'll have to leave time to accept that. Yeah, or if somebody can volunteer to do it, yeah. If somebody has a trencher, just a,
You had mentioned, that's why we
Yeah,
had to
just
rush
use
this
a-
whole thing. You did want to do the third.
somebody has a little trencher. you can trench.
What's that?
That is open, so, and I'll put them in through the end of the year. Typically, I don't do recurring meetings into the next.
We already
year.
gave it to
I'll
the-
do Every
To
third
the other committee.
Sunday through the end of the year.
We already gave the $3,000 to
Yeah.
the drama club.
All right, take care.
Cause that's a whole different operation. We can do the panel by itself and upgrade that. But that requires digging a line all the way over to the pump?
Yep, yep. Get a ditch wrench, stick a trench, get some direct burial and stuff it in there.
Yep, I mean, they're gonna have to do some.
You're supposed to do. dig
Well,
safe.
you have to call them. It's on town property, you gotta call them.
Did you guys get a chance to look at the MS 535 or should I just go with what the artist prepared?
Well, we're not-
Just go with what they, yeah, we're not, we don't know anything about it.
Right.